Well, welcome to a new Harry's Garage video, and finally we have the Murray Automotive T.50 in the garage. It's been a long time coming, partly my fault because there was an opportunity to drive it in July, which unfortunately I had the dates clashed with our family holiday, and then it went off to America and it stayed in America longer than they expected, and then I went down for a seat fitting in December, and since then it has rained continuously. But finally, last week I picked this car up and I have done many miles in this car. I've had it about 5 days and we've been everything you would do with this car. Picked it up, did about 120 miles first day, and then the second day I took it out to Wales. I wanted to drive it on the best roads I know in the UK, so 400 odd miles in North Wales with it. Yesterday I went up to see a friend of mine because I thought, well, I wonder how it works with passenger in it. And then today we've been out on the roads as well. So I've really got to know this car, and it's one car I really did want to get to know because it's extremely special. When Gordon Murray says, I'm going to redo the McLaren F1, bring it up to date, well, the world picked up and said, wow, this is quite something. Huge amount to discuss in this car. Let's have a closer look. Now, the first thing that strikes you when you see this car, it's sort of shrunk. It's much smaller than you expect. You park it next to things. I had the McLaren, my 650S beside it, and it was lower. And the width of this car is 1850mm. And to put that in perspective, well, the current Porsche 992 is 1900. And if you go right up to this, equivalent sort of car of a Ferrari F80, where you're over 2 meters, 2 meters 60. Revelto is also over 2 meters, but 1850 on here, and then come around the side, and it's, even though it packs a V12 and all of the aerodynamics in it, it is 4,352mm long, which is around 200mm shorter than a 911, which is 6-cylinder rear engine, and then about half a metre shorter than an F80 and the Lamborghini Revelto. It is incredibly well packaged, and you don't notice it immediately because the wheel size fits with the car. They're actually smaller than you would expect. Front wheels are 19-inch, 235 35 19s, and the rears 20-inch 295 30 by 20. So yeah, most supercars today are 22-inch wheels, but not so this car. And yeah, if you can see on the side, PS4, this is the pre-series prototype. This is a well-used car. I picked it up and it was 13,700 miles. It's now 14-something thousand miles. So very well used. All potential customers got to drive this car on circuit. So it's had a properly hard life, proper working car. And yeah, so you'll see stone chips and bits of spray on it as well. Right, another thing to note, I think, when you see this car, the depth of the windscreen is right down. You can almost see your toes. It's exceptionally low. That then gives this the wing shape you see from the wheel with the central driving position, obviously. And then at the front, there's just this lack of aggression. There's no sort of split or anything. It just blends down. And the reason for that is the fan. And the fact that it's using the floor and the huge diffusers on this car to create all its downforce. And what's really clever about it is it actually creates the centre of gravity. You have to, Gordon Murray, I walked around this car with Gordon Murray in the early days. It was back in August 2020, believe it or not. And he explained in more detail there. So if you want to watch that video, I'll put a link up. But it's all down to this fan, and this is quite a controversial thing because it obviously dominates the rear styling, but it's super, super clever, and it spins around 5,000, 6,000 RPM, and that creates the downforce in these huge diffusers that are so big, the rear suspension sort of goes through them, a great big tunnel, very aggressive. They start around here and they go up, and you need the fan to make those diffusers work properly. But the thing is, it's sucked to the road, rather than having rear spoiler and front spoiler acting at either end of the car, it happens here. That's the clever bit with this car. Well, there's lots of clever bits on this car. And there is also little flaps, almost Pagani-like from the Myra. 2 individual flaps here that work independently. They lift up as well during braking and obviously to create downforce. One little touch I rather like, centre of the fan, is the camera for the rear view camera. It's perfectly placed there. Twin exhaust outlets. You will get to hear this. This is quite a loud car. Now, I have the key on me, and if I press, there's an overall button I can press that wakes it up. It's a little chilly in here, so if it had been a bit warmer, this door would have come up as well. That gives you access to the centre driving position. We're going to go run through that in a moment. You obviously see all the gear changes. I love the pedals on this car. Both of these sides also lift up, revealing the enormous storage bins. We're going to have a look at the other side as well. The engine there, just hidden down there. Super low, dry sumped obviously, Cosworth 4-litre engine, revs to 12,100 RPM, and the exhaust come over the top. So this is super hot all around here, exit at the rear. Being a Gordon Murray car, has to have a bit of gold in it. The engine oil cooler sits there. And also you'll see the suspension. So all operated by push rods on the wishbones as it is at the front. This one also lifts up another storage bin there as well. And then at the front, this is so light. This is, as you can see here, this is the toolkit in here, and there's a centre bolt thing there, but just the little details you'd expect with when Gordon Murray involved. Beautiful toolkit, titanium, and I think there is, if I just take one of those out, Gordon Murray Automotive chassis, there we are, has the chassis number on it as well. Are you ever going to use it? It's just extraordinary how light everything is on this car. The idea of this car is it's super light. Everything is being honed to get the weight down, and the declared weight is 997 kilos. If you just look here, I just love, this is your glimpse of the carbon fibre bodywork on it, and it is incredibly light. And you put that down, and that just does that. Right, well, let's have a look inside. First thing, how do you get in to the centre driving position? There's all various ways. I put my feet in first, like that, sit on the sill like that, and then you can just slide across to the passenger seat and then go the final hog down into there. And here you are. Once you're here, it's just lovely. And if you're wondering how you get out again, well, that's fairly easy. This is how I do it. First thing you've got to do is make sure your head is in this bit here. I put my hand on the sill there, do that, and I can just get out quite easily. You do get used to it, just takes a few days of practice. And yeah, what have you got? You're met with a carbon wheel, super light wheel. It's not actually adjustable, set with spanners. So that's part of the seat fitting. They do the seat back as well to what you get comfortable in it. You set the wheel and then it's your position. I have backwards and forwards movement there. And being Gordon Murray is much taller than me, it does go back a fair way. I don't have to have it all the way back, which is nice. Gear change here, obviously, your chassis plate again, PS4. And then down here, this is actually controls the screens, which won't work at the moment until I start it up. It's a nice controller here, actually, how all that works. Hazards. This is your traction control and mode. There is a sport mode as well as a GT mode, as they term it. I keep it in GT mainly. And these are your window switches here. So, yeah, all self-explanatory there. Up here is just your ventilation. Up here, temperature here, fan speed there. It has no vents. Every now and then it does mist up because I've had to have it in the rain, and you just got electric heater in the screen, and that's how you clear that. You'll also notice the cameras. You don't get mirrors on the T50, you have these cameras instead. Also, little bits of storage, surprise storage, sunglasses I've got in there, and then there's one under the seat as well. You pull down first and you'll see the storage behind there as well. Everything thought out. Also, 6-speed conventional gearbox here. Beautiful action, but to get reverse, I have to take this reverse lock out and then down into reverse like that. Really like the details, love the red. Right, it's gone to sleep again. I can see that because that needs to be white. There it is, that is now white. I'm now going to do the start sequence. So I'm going to press this. You'll then see a dance on the dash. There we go. And this is just energizing everything. Goes through its run sequence, settings, doors open. Now I'm going to start. And what I have to do, press the clutch, press once, and you'll hear the starter generator electric motor on the front of the engine whirl the engine into life. And you think it's started. What it's actually doing is just priming the engine, pumping oil around, and after a certain number of seconds, it then fires the ignition. And boy, do you know when this engine starts up. This is stone cold. This has been sat in here overnight. So here we go. Whoa! That is the sound of a T50 starting up. Right, I'm going to head out and you'll join me on the road in a moment. So lucky with the weather. The sun has finally come out, spring is here, temperature outside 15 degrees, which is good. I've been driving this quite a lot at 7-8 degrees, and I'm starting the video earlier than I normally do because it's a rough bit of tarmac, and it's just a sort of wake-up call that yes, it is softer riding, but it is definitely on the sporting side, and you might pick up suspension noise because wheels are directly connected almost to the carbon tub. There's not a lot of rubber bushing. I would imagine there's sort of rose joints in there as well. And dare I say it, it reminds me of my Countach that makes a similar noise on the same bit of road. And you might also have picked up a little click then, and that is this assisted steering that clicks in at low speed, and it literally gears in to the car, and I think it goes out again at 9 miles an hour. So right just when you're manoeuvring or you're coming up to a junction like this, it will do it. And I've come here because I want to show you the gearing in this. So we move off, there we are, and it's incredibly, it feels incredibly low geared. I've changed into second at 18, 4,000 RPM, changed into third, 25 miles an hour, 2.5, 3,000, 30 miles an hour. You sort of rapidly go through the gears when you're just trying to warm the engine up, because you've got to remember these gears stretch so far that as you're just pooting around like this at 3,000 RPM, yeah, you need to be, I'm in fifth now, let's get 3,000 revs up, 48 miles an hour. So it's slightly bizarre, especially when you know what comes next is just tickling around. It can tickle around at lower speed, but you're through the gearbox much quicker than expected. And the change, you never miss a gear. It's just, it's heavy, but it's more precise. I find it easier than the McLaren F1 that was super close to the gate. Gordon says this is the same, but I just find this one much easier to use. The only proviso, if you have the reverse gear in, it just makes slightly trickier getting second, even though it'll then lock out the reverse gear. So I always deactivate the choice to get reverse. Once you've used reverse, it's good to just lock it out again, and then you have a much freer gearbox and you won't have a missed gear. Yeah, I'm doing 60 miles an hour at the moment, and yes, it was noisy. You're getting readings on my decibel meter, pretty close to 90 decibels. There is a lot of noise in here. You've got an option of having a rev match, but at low revs it doesn't really bother. You have to be on it to be able to make that work. You have to be up the rev change, and then you move up. Right, that's the steering just clicked in. Yes, it's my first drive in this. It was sort of slightly intimidating, but then the McLaren F1 was. This is not a car you just jump in and it's easy. It takes some learning, but it's so honest in its responses and what everything does. You do soon learn it, and if you have a bit of mechanical nous, it helps, I think, with this car. over the last few days that I tootled through Burford, took it up to Wales, and I collected Tom May, who he does the Iconic Auctioneer auctions with me. He's the guy who does all that video work, because I wanted to get some shots of this in Wales because it was beautiful weather, and that is a sort of thing you've got to do in a car like this. It was a long day, we did nearly 400 miles, but it's how you have to enjoy this car. And after the first day, sort of bringing it back from Murray Automotive in the rain, motorways and stuff, was this sort of anticipation as we drifted up the A5, and then I cut left through the sort of secret cutway I know to take me into Bala, and then hit some just wonderful roads, and this car just came alive on those roads. It was an extraordinary experience, and it showed me just how much you have to learn, how much you have to engage with this car, and how flipping fast this car is once you get it up on its toes, because you have all these revs to play with. One thing you have to do is get the oil temperature up before you're allowed to use the revs. I am still staring at amber light telling me the oil temperature is not there yet. It needs 83 degrees according to Cosworth to be able to draw the full performance of this car. And it takes some doing to get there. All the way going up to Wales, it was still oil light. We had to get up in the hills and really start using its performance, and then it went out, and then you had the full rev range. Otherwise it gives you a rev limit of about 9 or something terrible like that, or lower when it's even colder. Just mention there, just moving away, normally clutch fine. Every now and then, if you've got a slight hill start or something, you think, oh, I've got a handle on this, and then you haven't. And it's just one of those things, because it's this tiny little clutch pack, 3 carbon fibre. Apparently it will last forever. It's not like the F1 that used to eat clutches. Yeah, it can just catch you out when you think you've got it on top of it, and it's so annoying because the revs flare so fast that you can look a complete mug, and you're not. You just touch the throttle and you suddenly got 2,000-3,000 RPM when you didn't want to, because you've moved it a micron. Just part of in learning the car. Other things, central driving position. you're immediately right where you want to be driving a car. You do not think, oh, I'm on the left or the right. You're just in the right place. And being narrow, having the visual of the wings in front of you and this depth of windscreen you can just see right in front of the car makes it not intimidating. The only proviso is I do always have it so I can have the rear view camera on permanently. The EU do not allow you to do this, so you have to go through a menu and then say, yes, proceed, I want it on at all times, every time you do a startup, which is a bit annoying. And I coming out of a 20 limit, I'm in fourth, which is ridiculous for the squirt up the hill. The oil temperature light has gone out, which is good news. I think I'll go down to second for this, 25 miles an hour. I won't go full beans, you'll find out why. Yeah, it can't take full beans up there. It just spins up the rear tyres. It just... There we go, right through the gears. This car has the touring option on its gearbox, so I can pop it into 6 and you can hear me again. £8,500 option. Yeah, I ought to talk about price really. Yeah, it's 2.84 million, including VAT. I'll put the numbers up. But if you wanted one today, you're paying nearer to 5 million, probably more, 5 to 5.5, 6. They instantly sold out as 100 of them, and then some of the prototype cars have been returned to sort of road cars, and they sold a few of those off. So the exact number I'm not quite sure. I also weighed it, and it went a little bit over on my weighbridge. Provisos here. It measures in 20 kilo increments, and because this is the pre-production, it's had several resprays. They think added about 6 kilos a time. It's got the glass up here. It's got a number of extras, all sorts of things. They even weighed the number plates, and they were 0.19 of a kilogram. I weighed it and it went 1120. It was muddy and wet at the time. I washed the car, used a bit of fuel, and it went 1080. So about 1100 fully fueled. Right, I'm coming down to my nice bit of road here, so let's go through the gears. It's quite ferocious. Back into second. Now, the other thing about this car, I'll have to calm it down again. You know it has no power steering on it. You also know that you basically have race suspension and setup, and it follows cambers. This is what manual steering is like. I thought it had sort of lane assist when I first got in it. It's that aggressive if it hits a camber. I'll just see. It is alive, the steering, in a way that no modern car is, except this one. And if you're not used to it, yeah, it will take you by surprise, but you soon dial into it, and then you hold the wheel and just revel in knowing precisely what is happening on the front axle and what the car is doing. But it does react to cambers big time. Another thing of note, the brakes, you almost don't notice them because they're so good. They're precisely what you want brakes to be. Solid pedal and immensely powerful. They are servo, but they don't feel servo, they just feel perfect. Benchmark braking on it. Oh, the turning. So the hardest part is just keeping self-control. I love that you can enjoy the revs without having to give it full load as you go up through the gears. You don't have to go flat out to get to just revel in what this engine can deliver. But you do have to be in a lower gear than your brain says you should be because they stretch so far. I'm doing 50 miles an hour I'm at 5,000 RPM in third, up to 7. There you go. So I'm going to put it into second, just so I can hear that sound. Fortunately, I got to enjoy this car on a closed road, so I do know what it sounds like at higher revs. It is intoxicating. It's loud though, and yeah, be aware it's something that I think some people might feel slightly obnoxious if you're doing it in area where there's other people out for a Sunday walk or something like that. Talking of which, yesterday, Sunday, I have a friend up here who's quite into cars, and I thought, what do you do when you have a car like this? You go and show your mates. So I dropped by his house, and you'll join me, and let's just see what he thought to the GMA T.50.
Right, Harry.
Hello.
How are you?
Just give me a moment.
That was quite elegant.
Yeah, it's not bad effort, is it?
Well.
Yeah, I've had a couple of days practice, so yeah,
I was
it's
very
got better.
impressed. I thought I'd be standing around for an hour and a half waiting for you to get out.
Yeah, I'm going to take the key out, because you never know with cars and keys, do you really?
Not these days, no.
No.
So this is it.
Yes, T.50.
Gordon's latest.
Yes. Yeah, well, it's after his F1. He always wanted to reimagine the McLaren F1, and he set up a car company, and this was the first car, the T.50, the wild one. I quite like this though. This is really quite nice.
I know he's trying to make this as small as possible.
Yes.
But I'm sorry, Gordon, there's some way to go before you can get really small.
I'm surprised. I wonder if Gordon's actually got one of these, because he's got a lovely collection of all sorts of things, Lancers.
Well, that was the car we took across. We took across Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
And it's take the roof off, and in the summer it's a great little thing for bombing around in.
Yeah, you always had a soft spot for a Lancia, haven't you?
I love
really?
a Lancia.
Yeah,
I still think that if you look at all the car companies in the world and said which one has made the largest number of great cars, I don't mean good ones,
percentage
I mean great cars.
Yeah.
You'd have to put Lancia up there.
Yeah.
You know, Ford obviously has made some great cars, Model T and the GT40 and the Mustang and so on. Ferrari, not as many as you might think.
No.
And then Audi won. But Lancia, you got the Delta Integrale, the Stratos, the Fulvia HF.
Yeah. My little Zagato I'm very fond of. You've got Integrale wheels on it.
And an Integrale front end and 308 tail lights.
Is there really?
And the seats are now bolted to the floor, so I can get in it very easily. But anyway, we're not here to talk about Monte Carlo. I've rather covered this extensively.
Yeah.
This, though...
Yeah.
Did you say that's £5 million?
Well, that is what they are. If you're very lucky and one of the 100 original buyers, you might have paid about 2.8, 2.9 million. But if you want one now, that is where they're heading to. If you look at it, it's a fifth of the price of a McLaren F1. So, it's
what are F1s going for now?
24, 25 million, something like that. No.
I didn't even like the F1. Never liked it.
I'm surprised. I really like it.
Used to argue, he adored it and said it was just the best thing. I just thought it was, I don't know, it's just too twitchy for my liking and too soft. It wobbled about. And all, it had gold in the engine bay. Well,
it did. That you have to replace.
That's not a lightweight material.
But it's very thin. There's a little bit of gold in here, actually. I could show you. Yes, if I press one of these buttons and do this, if you look in here.
Di Tommaso Mangusta. Oh, is what I'm thinking.
You exactly, and that was the inspiration. Gordon
was
did
it the
say
Mangusta?
to me, the Mangusta with those twin flaps.
There's
two of them. There's one the other side.
And that's a Cosworth
V12.
Cozza.
Yeah, Cozzy. Yeah.
Cozza. to give it its correct
I
pronunciation.
know. That's slightly more than that. It's just under 4 litres, and look at the exhaust comes out the top. Yeah, there is the gold. There is always.
But he has done to package a V12 in a car that small is quite something, and shows Ferrari the direction they should be going in.
Yeah, no, it is special. But I just thought, while I've got it, I ought to,
Well, I mean,
just see
I've
if it
been
works.
reading about this. I'm no longer as interested in mid-engine supercars as I once was.
I've done the wrong button. Yes,
But
sorry.
it's nevertheless, it's electronics.
Stay there.
It's electronics.
If I press that one though, that's what I wanted to do. There we go.
So
Three seats.
Yeah, I would say I've been reading about it.
So you have driven F1. You did do it.
I drove the F1, when it was new, and did not like it.
No.
And I don't think Gordon Murray ever quite forgave me for not liking it. But, each to his own. I appreciate there are lots of people, Rowan Atkinson being an example, Tiffany Dell being another.
Yeah.
Where were you on it?
I have driven it. I have really enjoyed it. I loved the induction bark and the engine.
Oh, the engine made an amazing... that BMW engine was a superb sounding thing.
But it was quite intimidating, that you get in and you're very careful with the gear change. There's no traction, no ABS, and then it just moves about, but you just enjoy the engine, and it is spectacular, and I love the detailing on it.
And this is super hardcore, isn't it?
Well, it's a GT. They describe it as, because it's the luggage, but it is the ultimate GMA. So the first car was going to be the ultimate, and then there's a T33 coming that is slightly less toned down and 2 seats and vaguely normal. No
So
fan.
he's doing a 2-seat version.
There is a 2-seat
a less
version
extreme
that
version.
doesn't rev to 12.5, but still revs to about 11 or something.
This is 12.5, isn't it?
12.5. Yeah, 1,000. Yeah.
And
It's
then
proper RPM. Yes, quite controversial, isn't it? Sort of having that stuck there. That is the fan, and that makes these diffusers work really well. And it's like F1. You can see the wishbones are sort of shaped for the wind going out to the wheels. And to make it really work and suck down, it has that. And that is why it doesn't look as aggressive at the front and things. And you think, it's just a normal GT. It is nothing like a GT, really. It's when it wakes up.
So all the aerodynamics are happening here, rather than...
If you look at the front, it's all a bit odd, because there's you'd expect sort of splitters and things poking out the front. It's sort of rounded. And there isn't.
It's a Lotus Exige almost. Well, not even an Exige and a lease, really, isn't it?
Yeah. So there you go, and it weighs just on a tonne. That's the other amazing thing.
And for a V12.
And it's a 670 horsepower or something. But I think I just ought to just nip you around the block in it, really, just so you get a sense of what it's like.
Morning, isn't it?
It is. It's what you do on Sunday mornings.
Sunday mornings. Well, it is when I can't put anything in the ground, as you know.
No, not a lot of farming.
No.
Do you want to experience what?
Yes,
the
which side would you like me on?
I would suggest this
side where there's no gear lever, so there's less man touching.
Yeah.
Which is an important thing.
Yes, I have to get in first.
Yes,
this is how this bit works, really. I have to wriggle in, and then you do this. There we are.
Again, very impressive. Oh, look, they put the...
What?
Oh, that's such a mistake.
What?
When they put the seatbelt buckles inside the bucket.
Well, I see what you mean.
There's 2 cars I know of that did that. The Lexus LFA.
Right.
And the Mercedes CLK Black.
Yes.
And it took me about 25 minutes before the invention of Munjaro to be able to do the bloody seatbelt up.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Well, anyway, you get round it. Yours, sir. Yeah, where's yours? Yours is sort of in the seat. So, yeah.
I'm a lot thinner these days and a lot more agile.
Right. There you go. You're having a bit of my space, are you? Gonna...
Because I've got a lot of leg.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Here we are.
It's got to
do that.
Seatbelt is in me. It's such an idiotic thing.
Yeah, but it's tight.
I know.
It's lightweight.
It doesn't really matter where you put the bloody seatbelt.
Are you all right? Do you want some help?
No, it's really, honestly, these bloody seatbelt things when they're inside the bucket. And I'm not exactly fat-hipped. There we are.
There we are. Right. Okay. Well, you
Right.
press it once, and then it will do a little dance on here. Yeah. You've got a handle here as well.
Let's see. Let's use that then.
There we are. Right. So I have to wake the car up because it's got bored of us talking outside. So I've woken the car up, and I press it once. Little dance. Oil temperature light.
I'm
And it
already
says-
bored.
Sorry, you're going to get more bored in a minute. And when it starts, it has an electric motor on the front of the engine that then spins it to get the oil round, and then it fires. So you think it's started. If I just press it now. There. So I think it's quite neat.
Yep. Or it could just start.
Yes, I could. No, we're going to head
I don't
out.
want
Can I have a handbrake? Thank you very much. And there we go. Just.
It is a peculiar thing being in a.
I'm not
slightly-
sure about the seating position. Oh, more deliveries coming in.
No, we're busy.
There you
We're
are.
busy not farming.
Has he left a space for me? Yes, he has. Yeah, I was trying to describe someone about the seating position in it, and I find it's very odd because I can't see you at all.
No, quite. And I'm talking to the back of your left ear.
Yeah, and I've got a lovely view of your boots, but it's like when you have your hair cut, but you have a mirror and you converse quite naturally. I really would quite like a mirror somewhere.
That's a good point, actually.
Yeah.
But then, think of the weight.
Well, obviously. Well, there we go.
12,000 RPM. That really is.
Yes, we won't have that to begin with because
I was going to say,
we've
it's a nice
got oil
greasy road
temperature.
surfaces.
Yes.
And these are the door mirrors then. Those are the cameras.
Yes, they are. And
So I
want
haven't
to
put speed
see-
humps on this drive, as you probably have noticed.
That's very good of you. Yes.
So I'm still going for my all-time record, which is 112 so far on this drive.
112.
112 in an Audi RS4.
Right. I'm not going to test that at all today.
No, it's quite. You have to know nothing's coming the other way.
Yes. But I have an oil temperature light
It's a great
warning.
sounding engine.
It is a very good sounding engine. I'll just see where I'll just put it into third so we're not getting too illegal. But from 3,000 on, it's quite a good sound.
That's an amazing sound.
Yes. So we're at 8,000 with another 4 to go.
What was that you just went up to?
8,000.
8?
Yes.
Shit.
And then you can do this, and then you have an
I remember
overdrive.
when, was it the VTECs came along, they revved to about 8 and that was amazing.
It was, yeah.
And now the 12, it's like motorcycle territory.
This is motorbike. So, well, I see it as Gordon has basically put in our favourite era of F1 engine into a road car. That's how I view this. And if you go back to McLaren F1,
They've always, I mean, the amount of people who've said that over the years, Ferrari F50 and so on, and they never were, but
never quite. I mean, you had to have pneumatic valves to go to stupid RPM, but this is pretty special for a road car and passing all the various tests. It's quite a soundtrack, isn't it?
it's an amazing engine. I mean, absolutely phenomenal. Is it quite, how much torque's it got?
I should know the number, and I don't.
Well,
But
is it, I mean, just go
it's-
into a high gear and just...
I'm in 6, so
You're in
this
6.
is overdrive, so you have to pay extra for this gear. This is the touring spec, so it keeps the revs low and it's quite civilised.
So it's
but
still got some...
this will take you to 240 miles an hour.
it doesn't have that... No, it's not... You
But
know what I mean? It's not...
We're
get
at
that
2,000
well
RPM.
in the pit of your
Yes.
stomach from a really torquey engine.
Well, I think it's amazing when you think what it revs. There's no... You just have all this gear to play with. You're not thinking, oh, I've got to get it up the top to be able to get the performance. It's there all the time. So I'm now, if I go to... I'm in 4th. That was half throttle, I suppose.
But it's more BHP than
It is.
foot-pounds.
Oh yes,
Pounds
it is.
feet.
It's normally aspirated V12.
Yeah.
But at 5, you've got to remember how much more revs I've got in the gear. That's 6. I've got another 6.5.
It's not completely bouncy either.
No, it is a bit, but no, it's not.
But quite susceptible to camber changes.
It is, yes. It is a bit.
Yeah, because you're doing quite a lot of steering. It's like you're in a 1950s American film.
Yeah, well,
You are doing
sorry about that.
quite a lot of steering.
You can't really let go. And,
No.
And the other weirdness, well, apart from your knee, I haven't got an armrest. I'm sort of, that's the centre driving position bit about it. It's, you are in a driving zone. I feel it's like being in a simulator or something. I'm sat here with this world coming at me. I've got to get the oil temperature up so we can explore the higher revs. I still have an orange light. So, officer, that's why I'm driving like this.
You're going to have to speak up if you're going up past 4,000 RPM.
Right.
There's something you might like to know is you're talking.
Yes.
The ladies and gentlemen can hear what you're saying. Sitting back here,
You
I
can't hear this. No. I did measure it at 90 decibels in here,
Yeah,
just cruising.
yeah.
I'm driving like like this to get the oil temperature up.
It is ferocious.
It is.
It's so nice to have a tiny car.
Yes, it is.
You bring a Rev Alto down here,
Yeah.
and meet a tractor coming the other way, you're doomed.
I did notice that in Wales. It was just, compared to the modern stuff. But it is modern stuff. That's the
No,
weirdness,
but it's
isn't
tiny.
it? Yeah.
That's the best thing it's got going for it, is it's tiny.
When you come onto little bridges like this. Oh,
Yeah.
that's a bit naughty.
20's plenty, Harry. 20's plenty.
20 is very good. We're now at 22 miles.
A
an
Liberal Democrat parish councillor has deemed 20 to be the speed you drive through this village, and so we shall.
So that's what we do. Look, we're
Now
now up
it's
to 40 now.
Yeah.
I might need another gear. Some rain.
That needs work.
Yeah, automatic. I have got high downforce. I can put that
It
on.
needs to have those little vents on the wiper that you used to put on cars in the 70s
Yes.
to keep the wipers on the windscreen.
Felt it there,
Yeah, exactly.
moving around. You've gone quiet.
Well, there's no point talking once you go past 5,000.
No. It's almost too loud.
I mean, it's laughable to call it a GT car,
yes.
but it's for my commute from the farm to the pub,
Yes.
which and we're on the road now, then it's an ideal thing. Apart from the £2.5 million price tag.
Yes. And they would know when you were setting off, wouldn't they? Oh, I think Jeremy's just left.
Yes, exactly. Go on, you say it.
I know. There's a flipping farmer up
There
ahead.
you go.
But it's not us.
Oh, one of us has got to say, bloody tractor.
Bloody tractor. Oh,
It's a horse box.
Even worse.
Yeah, because the worst thing in the world.
Yeah. Well, there we are.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you got to experience it.
No, I'm glad. No, it's an honour, really, to get anything like
Yeah.
this.
I sense that you wouldn't go on tour in this, but
No.
you'd give a lift to a mate to the
No.
station or something like that.
Yes.
Would be all right for that.
Yeah.
Mrs. M isn't that keen on the idea, I have to say.
No.
and the back of my head does get a bit boring. And I had a photographer, Tom May, helped me do the video very kindly yesterday, and I wasn't sure if he was asleep or because I thought it'd gone very quiet.
The conversation is not a thing in this car.
It's not really.
No.
It is a bit awkward on that. Yeah. Anyway, we're nearly home.
We are.
I quite like that you don't have to give it full beans to enjoy the sound. You can just go up the
other thing
road.
I'm really enjoying is the sound it makes just there when you change gear.
Yes,
Like
the
proper
clackety clack.
clack.
Yes, it is. Pedals are beautiful as well.
Are they aluminium?
No, they're titanium.
Titan, of course they are.
Yeah. Neighbours, best not to upset them.
I was going to say, might I prevail upon you
Yes.
to not infuriate
No, no.
the people of Chadlington?
We might be recognised.
Yeah. But those switches look like they're bespoke.
Everything's bespoke.
I mean, that's quite something when you go to a switch manufacturer and say, can you make me a switch? And how
Yeah.
many? I only want 50 or
100.
100, whatever it is.
I mean, that's quite an interesting point in this car because you have to learn everything. You know, like you can go up the Ferrari level and then you get to that Ferrari and you sort of know where everything is. This, there's nothing else out there like it. Apart, I suppose, from the McLaren
Well, there's
F1.
one thing. Many years ago, I did a TV show. I can't remember which one it was. And I went to see this man in France. I believe he worked for the post office.
Yeah.
And he had built a model of a Ferrari, I'm going to say P4, but it probably wasn't. Anyway, some 60s
Yeah.
V12 Ferrari.
Yeah.
And it worked. He said if you're 9 inches tall, it would feel exactly the same to drive as a
Good
P4.
God.
Everything he'd made himself. The valve springs, everything to make it. And he took it to Ferrari and showed them, and they went, oh.
Yeah, I'm always
but
staggered
the sound,
by people like that.
The
How
sound
do they
this
do
makes
it?
is very
easy.
similar to that. It was tiny V12. What program it was? I can't remember what it was. Extreme Machines? Probably Meet the Neighbours.
Yeah,
Something or other.
I did enjoy Meet the Neighbours. That Italian guy says, no, we don't put seatbelts on. That's admitted you're a bad driver.
It's like betting against yourself.
Yes.
It's what he
What's
said. Why would you wear a seatbelt? It's like betting yourself saying, I am at best a mediocre driver.
I just loved
Franco
it.
Ferrarotti, that was his name. Professor of
That's it.
sociology.
He was being perfectly sensible, wasn't he? He wasn't saying
wasn't
he thought this was
I
fun.
liked him a lot.
I ought to get on with this video really and finish it off. But it's been nice having you as a passenger.
No, it was a nice run out on a Sunday morning is what that was, Harry.
It's what you do, isn't it, when you get a new car?
Do you know what it doesn't do, this car?
Yeah.
James May talks about the fizz,
Right.
and I sort of know what he
Yeah.
means.
Yeah.
I don't get the fizz from it.
Right.
I mean, it's obviously an astonishing piece of engineering,
Yes.
but then you've got to transcend engineering to get to what it is that I love about cars. I think it's engineering,
Yes.
possibly.
It is. I know. I sort of know where you are. It's a very nice car for a mate to own, isn't it? That
Yeah.
he drops by, so you can say, "Oh yeah, I've got a friend who's got a T50," and do experience. But yeah, I can't say I'm going to go touring in it. But I am
you're
going to
not.
have that fizz moment.
Well,
I have
if
to
you do
say,
go
if you were
touring,
sitting here, I think you
Go
might.
on your own.
Yes.
If you're going touring.
Yes.
There's no point bringing a passenger with
No,
you.
as Mrs. M demonstrated this morning.
Yes.
I'm going to take the Maserati. Look at that.
No, you see, that's a tiny car.
Yeah, that is very nice. Well, that was fun. Jeremy's quite a big lad, and so yeah, he took a bit of squeezing into the passenger seat, and you got a very good view of his knees, as you probably realised from the video. So, what should we say? Likes and dislikes with this car. I have to run through some dislikes, I suppose. The mirrors, I'm really not keen on these mirrors. Oh, I just would love proper mirrors. Just the
they don't. You have to have that one to see if anybody's following you, because you have no idea. You don't. In the F1, you've got 2 mirrors up here and you can see behind you. Here, I can only see side to side, and you just want more information of your surroundings. 2, I think it's quite firm riding. It's just full on, and I wasn't expecting it to be quite as full on. I'll just take it around here. Wow. Yeah, I didn't expect it to be quite as full on as it was. I don't know why. You look at, well, hang on a minute, calf. It weighs 1,000 kilos. It revs to 12,000 RPM, and it's got 670 horsepower. What do you mean you didn't expect it to be full on? But it is at the extreme end. It's SF90XX like, perhaps more so. It's that sort of car, and I think just that GT name just slightly fools you into thinking it's something else. It isn't. It is a car to just to enjoy on your challenging roads, but it's not one that you're going to go on touring, I don't think, for several days. Yes, you can. I sat in this seat 400 miles or so, and it was as comfy as anything in here, but the noise levels do wear at you, and there's a feeling of responsibility because of everything here being so manual. I did drive my McLaren 650S here, just as a reference point. God, it felt so easy after this, but then it didn't have the soundtrack. It has fantastic steering, but this is the next layer above. So if you want the ultimate, where you put up with a little bit of roughness around the side, but it's thing about it, styling, it's a very engineered car. I think it lacks a little bit of artistry that you get with Pagani, and the fan does dominate from behind, and I have this control on the fan. If I put it into high downforce, I can actually get on screen what it's doing. There we go. And this gives me fan speed, RPM things, and rear wing. And I'm surprised how inactive it is in auto. You have to be really on it to see it starts to work. It strikes me that the fan really gets going over sort of 70 miles an hour. Apart from braking, heavy braking, you see it wind up and you see the flaps go up and down as well. But I just wish it was smoothed off in a way, and that's just a personal thing on the styling. It doesn't shout how completely nuts this car is when you stoke it up. Another positive actually is the space inside and all the cubbyholes, so well thought out, and also the controls, so easy to read. Right, I'm doing 55, we just went over the fan has actually come to speed, so I'm slightly contradicting. I have got it in high downforce mode though, so if I take a bit more around here, 60, is it coming here? It's just coming in about 60 miles an hour, just coming in. Right, let's go through here again. It's just a bit there where I was braking around there. I saw the fan speed go up. It's not doing anything now. I take this corner. Yeah, rear wing went up. Oh, there's so much, and now it's spinning at full speed at 58 miles an hour. So yeah, if you do, the fan is a bit of a novelty there. You have to be on it to really experience the additional downforce. God knows what speed you'll be going. It needs a track really to explore its outer limits. And you have got a sports setting on here that changes the throttle position. I prefer to keep it in one position, so I just learn it over the days, but you could experiment that if you own this car and just see what you prefer. There's also, you can turn the traction control off to one stage and then completely. I haven't been playing with that because I have hardly noticed the traction light come on, except in straight line speed, but on the corners you've got so much information. It's fantastic actually. So, what do I think about this car? Well, as I've alluded to a number of times, it's more extreme than I expected. But why wasn't I expecting it? I don't know. It's just, I think Gordon being softly spoken and it all makes sense. I was expecting a sort of just an F1 plus 10%. No, it's reinvented the F1. And what I absolutely love is this is just the first car from GMA. With McLaren F1, it appeared in '95. We all said, what is that? That's amazing. But there wasn't a follow-up. It took Gordon Murray about 30 years, and then we had the T50, this is it. And we know there's a T50S that I saw at the works, looks amazing. T33, a more civilised version, if you like, two-seater, without the fan, about £1 million cheaper. That comes, we'll be driving that this year. So this is just the beginning of GMA and this engine, and this engine is just the start. To drive a car basically with the Formula One engine that we all loved and worshipped in those sort of 95, 2005 period, V12 and then V10, normally aspirated, and that song of the V10, V12s at high revs is what we just love about F1 for a lot of people. You think about AMG Project One, I haven't even put one in because it's sort of celebrating the least liked engine in F1 history. What you want to celebrate is the V12, the normally aspirated, have that response, have that soundtrack. And that is what this car delivers. No other car gets close to it. You think, oh, the F50, yeah, that was pretty close of a different era. Nothing like the performance of this. This is mind-blowingly quick. The F50, you can sort of understand, and you have to really wake it up at high revs, and then you really get to enjoy it. This is wild at all times. It's just amazing what Cosworth have done with this engine. To have 70% the torque available at 2,500 RPM is just mind-blowing engineering. So the other thing about this car, with all the nonsense on Veyron and Chiron service costs and tyres, this is normal. That was just 7,000 RPM, by the way. Yeah, normal tyres, Michelin P4Ss, servicing every 5,000 miles or a year, £1,500 to service, just utterly straightforward running cost. Nothing like Valkyrie, so that I'm very impressed with as well. So there you go. The Gordon Murray Automotive T.50, finally road tested. 5 days I've had with this. Oh, I ought to say the lights are really good as well. Super strong on main beam. My only thing on that, because you sit so low, you do get a bit of glare because everybody's driving around in giant cars these days. That's no fault of this, but highly usable. So really enjoy this car, love the opportunity to have it in all conditions and for such longer periods. So I have to thank everyone at Gordon Murray for letting me do that. I hope you enjoyed this video, our trip and little chat with Jeremy on it as well, and the trip out to Wales. If you did, well, keep watching, keep driving, more videos coming along very soon. Thanks for watching.